Regardless of what you might hear, knowing where and how you're building links is incredibly important. And not just the quantity of links, but the quality of links. I'm Vince Nero, I'm the Director of Content Marketing here at BuzzStream. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of relevant links. Links are the main way that Google traverses the web. That's never going to change. What's changing, however, is their focus on the type of link. As they shift their focus on sites that provide helpful content and sites that have strong EEAT signals, what you're finding is that Google's putting more emphasis on quality links. And we're finding that relevancy is even more important in 2024. Luckily, it's super easy to find relevant links, and I'm going to walk you through how to find them and how to build them. Before we get into it, let's just quickly touch on what Google thinks link relevance is. For as much as Google likes to hide their algorithm, they actually publish a great deal of helpful content that you can infer a lot of the signals that they are probably looking for. And I'll link to a lot of those in the show notes, but what it boils down to are 5 key factors: page post title, keywords on the page, link placement on the page, anchor text of the link, and the text surrounding that anchor text. So page and post title is probably the strongest type of relevancy signal that you can send to Google. And obviously the link that you're building should be relevant and connected to the site that it's linking to. For instance, if you're blogging about football, you shouldn't be linking to a cooking site, unless maybe your post is about tailgating tips from professional chefs. So the keywords on the page, this is another obvious one where the keywords used in the content itself should be relevant to the content in which you're linking to. They don't have to be exact, think semantic relevance. Now the link placement on the page, real old patent of Google's talked about the reasonable surfer model, where essentially they put more importance to things that are higher up on the page. So when you're trying to get a link from somebody, the higher up on the page, the better. Okay, the anchor text, this is important. It's in the same way that keywords are important. You're looking for semantic relevancy. And the text surrounding the anchor text, this is very important as well. And Google actually calls this out in one of their development blogs. Remember to give context to your links. The words before and after links matter, so pay attention to the sentence as a whole. So when you're looking at your link placement and trying to evaluate it, just make sure you're giving context and putting semantically relevant words before and after that link. Site authority plays a big role in this too, but you can think about it in this matrix that I've created here, where you've got your low relevance, high authority, high relevance, low authority. And let's talk about this first one, low relevance and high authority. Think of your customers. Are they going to be spending time on that target site? If yes, then it's great. If not, then it might not hold as much value over time. It might give you a quick boost, but it's going to taper off. High relevance, high authority, these are the gold standard and the best types of links that you can get, but they're also the hardest to get. Industry-specific news links are a great example of this. So high relevance and low authority sites, these are mid-tier bloggers or maybe a brand new site that hasn't gained authority yet. Give them the eye test, make sure that they are following good SEO best practices, EEAT best practices, but ultimately this is going to be where a lot of your customers are going to be spending their time. So I think these are just as valuable. And low relevance, low authority sites, these are garbage sites, don't even worry about them. Overall, try to aim for a mix. Ultimately, Google wants naturally built links, relevant links, naturally built over time. And why do relevant links matter? Well, if it's not obvious by this point, relevant links not only help you rank, but they're going to also bring in customers. A great way to think about this is, if all of your organic traffic left today, would you still be getting customers to your site? If the answer is no, then you're probably not building enough relevant links. And I want to make sure I overly state this very important nugget that we got from Google a few years back. Somebody asked, what is the most important, quantity of links or quality? And John Mueller responded,
So I don't think we differentiate like that in our systems. So from my point of view, I would tend not to focus on kind of the total number of links to your site or the total number of domain links to your website, because we look at links very in a very different way. And we try to understand what is relevant for a website, how much should we weigh these individual links, and the total number doesn't matter at all, because you can go off and create millions of links across millions of websites if you wanted to, and we could just ignore them all. Or there could be one really good link from one website out there that is for us like really important sign that we should treat this website as something that is relevant because it has that one link. I don't know, maybe from like a big news site's homepage, for example. So the total number essentially is completely irrelevant.
This is one of the most direct answers that you're going to get from Google, and I think it really speaks to the value of relevant quality links. All right, now that we know what to look for, let's get into how we can actually build them. So step one, or tip one, is going to be to map out your relevant link types. You can do this in various different ways, but start by creating kind of like customer profiles. Ask questions like, where are my customers going to be spending time? If you don't know, you can use a tool like ChatGPT and actually ask them straight up where your customers will be spending their time. And I found that they give pretty on-point answers. Tip two would be to use search operators. Now, there's three that I like to use: related, in title, and in URL. Related is going to show you related sites to whatever query you're searching for. In title is going to show you sites or pages that have the query in the title. And in URL is going to show you pages where the query is in the URL. You can combine them and do something like in URL cooking and in title barbecue. And that's going to find you all the URLs with the word cooking in it and all pages that have the title barbecue. All right, tip three, and getting into the good stuff here, is to create content that you can then pitch via outreach. Once you have your list of target sites and you know where your customers are spending their time, then it's going to be a matter of pitching your own and creating your own content that these sites will like to share. And one way you can do that is by identifying what they already share and what is successful for them. So use a tool like Ahrefs, pop in the site you're looking at, and looking at the top content or top shared content, and understand what types of content they like to share. And then you can create similar content. So if I wanted to get a link on The Verge, I can look at their top shared content, and I see a lot of stuff around NFTs, Twitter, Facebook, getting a lot of shares. So I might want to pitch a story around one of those topics because I know that's where their writers are finding success. Okay, the next tip is to create content that your sites will come across organically. All right, so for this, what we want to focus on is keywords that have high link intent. So what this means is a type of keyword that someone is going to want to cite when they're writing about a certain topic. For example, this pet information site, Better Pet, they wanted to build relevant links in the pet care space. So they found a keyword that they knew if they can get it ranking would have potential to get cited whenever somebody talked about it. And this was the dog age calculator. Now you'll see that this post ranks for the keyword, and when you look at the anchor text from a backlink report, you can actually see that bloggers are naturally referring to this content within their posts. Okay, the next tip is building relationships with bloggers or journalists. So remember, bloggers and journalists are people too. They don't love to be pitched cold outreach emails. They would much prefer to have a relationship with someone that they can lean on for information and for great content. So find them on social media, strike up a conversation, follow them, like their stuff, get involved in what they're doing. You can also pre-pitch a content idea, which gives you another foot in the door when it comes time to actually publish. They might be more apt to give you a link to your post. All right, the last tip here is to do a competitive analysis. Lean on your competitors. The ones that have had success in the space already are going to be the easiest to get your content ideas from. So you can pop in one of your competitors into Ahrefs and look at the content that is driving links. For example, if I was a senior care site, I could look at the top links for seniorcare.com on Ahrefs, and I see that their home healthcare cost post has over 115 referring domains. Looking at a quick snapshot of the backlinks, you can see a healthy mix of relevant page titles, domains, semantically related anchor text, and surrounding text. This tells me that they know what they're doing, so this might be a piece of content that you might want to try to replicate. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks.